guys, and welcome to today's video. Now, I struggled with what could I talk about this week. There was no big mental illness development with me, and it was actually you guys that gave me the idea. I have been talking to a few of you guys, and I've done a few videos on this recently, so I thought this week's video could be about that, and it is self-esteem issues. And it was heartbreaking to hear that quite a few of you understood what it felt like to be worthless, and I did not like hearing that. Just because I know how self-destroying it is and how heartbreaking it is to feel that and to mean nothing to yourself and to generally hate yourself, and to hear that other people know that was horrible to me, because I know that feeling and I didn't want anyone else to feel that. It was also sort of nice to hear about other people's self-esteem problems, because you can feel very, very isolated and alone, and it was sort of nice to know that there was other people out there who felt the same as you and understood what you were feeling, so you had somebody to talk to and someone to sort of just understand what those feelings meant without judgment. Now, I think everybody knows that I hate myself. I pretty much say in practically most videos that I have no self-esteem, I hate myself, I think I'm worthless, practically a long list about everything I hate myself for. And I have talked about it in therapy. I think a lot of people get confused by the fact that if you talk about your problems, doesn't it magically fix them? No, it doesn't, because you can't. There isn't just a magic button in your head that you press and every self-hating word that you've ever heard or spoken and any negative thought you've heard from someone else or you've thought about yourself magically disappears, and inside becomes these positive thoughts, and when you look in a mirror you don't see flaws, you see perfection. That isn't true, because for so long you've believed, and to my core I believe that I am worthless, and I don't think that will ever change. I mean, maybe it will get easier and maybe I will start believing a little bit about myself as the time goes on and I start dealing with it a bit more, but honestly, once you feel deep down to your bones that you are worthless and you believe it, and I mean, I even have it carved into my leg, I don't think I can prove it anymore to myself or to anyone else how much I hate myself, then I don't think that can change. And I think that's heartbreaking, because it's horrible to feel that about yourself. I'm sure nobody would want to feel that about yourself, but it's easy saying it than done. Do I want to feel worthless? The answer is I don't know. Do I want other people to feel worthless? No, because it's absolutely horrible. But I think I just believe so much in myself that I am worthless, that the idea that I could be anything but worthless just seems like a joke to me. When anyone pays me a compliment, or like if I've done something well, or like I in school, if I got full marks or anything like that and it was like a well done or I'd be like, no, something must have gone wrong, they must have mistaken me. I could never be right, I could never achieve something, and I think I always believe that they've mistaken me with somebody else, and there's just something in me that honestly truly believes that I am not worth anything, and to think that that's never going to change is really, really scary. But I have talked to a few of you guys, and you guys have said that you felt the same, or you did feel the same, and little tricks that you're trying to teach yourself to sort of improve your self-confidence. And I think that's one thing you've got to be willing to do if you want to deal with your self-esteem issues, is you've got to be willing to try. And that was a moment for me when I talked about a few weeks ago, when I was asked would I ever be good enough for myself, and I said no, and I found it really, really sad. That was sort of the moment where I was like, at least I have at least got to try. I may always believe that I'm worthless, but maybe there is a chance that I could at least accept that I may be good at something, or I may be good at a few things, or that I could do a few things well, or that I could accept a compliment without immediately thinking they've mistaken me for somebody else. Maybe that feeling will always be there, but that doesn't mean I can't try and change and try to accept and learn ways that my self-confidence might take a little boost. That worthless feeling could always be there for the rest of my life, but that doesn't mean that I have to believe that every part of me is worthless. Maybe I can be good at something and still be worthless at something else. I just need to try, and I think that is also the biggest step you can do, is just look at yourself and think honestly to yourself and just admit that you don't want to feel this way anymore, because it's exhausting to constantly be negative and constantly criticize yourself and just hate yourself. I'm sure if you've ever had an argument with somebody or you hate somebody, how exhausting is it to constantly have to just hate them? And doing that 24 hours a day to yourself is it's just too much. And I think I'd like to be able to maybe just take a break in hating myself every once in a while and see what it's like to actually have a bit of belief in myself. So I'm going to try, and I've definitely been talking to my therapist about that, and she's got a few ideas on how to sort of start. And the first bit is lowering that bar and looking around and noticing that just because we think everyone else around us is doing everything perfect, they're not. I mean, if you were in school, and I bet you hardly anyone got full marks in every single test they ever did. Sometimes they've maybe got one wrong, but no one can be perfect at every single thing. It's just not possible. They would be a robot or an alien. And they're human, and I think we've just got to understand that just because they may look perfect to us, that doesn't mean they are. They could be finding something extremely hard. It's just they don't show it on the outside. And I think we've got to accept that we're human too, and to be bad at something also means that you can be good at something else. There's often a balance. So what you have to do is lower that bar. Don't set it so high that you can never reach it. Don't say that to not feel worthless you have to do everything in your life perfect with no mistake, because that's never gonna happen. I make mistakes daily, like I'm sure a lot of you do. I have heard from other people, I've been hurt from other people's mistakes, but I have forgiven them, and it's just a matter of trying and not willing to believe that every single part of you is worthless, and have a little bit of hope. Even if you want to believe that 99% of you is worthless, you could have a 1% of you that has some positivity and belief in yourself, and that would make everything different, because that 1% would be sort of that jolt that would sort of set about changing some other percentages of yourself too. I know it's hard to live in a world and look around you and feel so worthless and so negative, and you just look around and think, well, if I'm going to try, where do I even start? And just it seems lost and hopeless, and you start to lose faith in even beginning to try. But you just have to find something, and hold on to something that gives you a bit of jolt of an emotion. I have told you I listen to music a lot, and a lot of the songs are about self-worth, and they help me sort of get the courage to start looking for a place to start beginning my self-esteem. And you've also got to remember that there are people out there that care about you, and they would not care about you if you were this horrible, worthless piece of crap that you believe you are. So maybe that could be your starting place, and realize that they see something in you that you obviously don't see in yourself. So there's got to be something good in you for them to want to be a part of your life. And maybe that can be that little jolt that starts off that 1% of believing that you're not total crap. I have so many inspirational quotes around my bedroom, it's ridiculous. And I think sometimes they can mock me, in the sense of when it's a bad day, I can look up and they'll be all very like positive and all this, and I'd be like, oh, shut up, what do you know, you're a piece of plaque on the wall. But then most days I look at them and they can be the things that help me get out of bed that day, help me move outside of my bedroom, and help me just take a breath. And I think sometimes that's what you need, is to find a little bit of inspiration, whether it's a quote, whether it's a song, whether it's a person. You need to find that little bit of inspiration that will help you on your little journey, because I am terrified of fighting and trying to change my self-worth, because I have been worthless for so long now that I'm scared to feel anything other than that, because I sort of feel comfortable in feeling worthless and not believing in myself, and I am fine to sort of hide in a corner and not be noticed and just happy to be worthless. But I know that I can't stay that forever, and I need to know that I at least tried to fight it. I can't just accept it and live that way for the rest of my life. Just like my mental illness, I'm fighting that, and this is just another part of that illness that I have to now fight, and I have to try a tactic and try to just plow through it and deal with it. So I am now going to go film a bit for Vlogmas. I'm still going strong on Vlogmas. I have not given up yet, which is a big relief, because I'm pretty sure I thought I would fail after the first few days, but I'm on my second week and I am doing well, and it's definitely, actually that is really helping my anxiety, doing Vlogmas and sort of pushing out my comfort zone. So maybe that'll help my self-worth, we never know. So I hope you guys can find that little inspiration, whether it's to do with a song, whether it's a quote, whether it's a person or whatever. I listen to so many songs, but one recently, in the newest one, would be Justin Bieber's Life is Worth Living. I think that's just such a beautiful song, and that has definitely been on repeat several times in order for me to just breathe every day, and it's just mesmerizing to me. So I hope you guys find that little inspiration, and I am always here for you. And if you need to talk, all the links and that are in the description box below, and I will see you next week. Bye guys.